So I have this theory that most people in North America have VDD, vegetable deficit disorder. And I've seen it. I've seen it so many times. You know, you go to the fast food places, or I was one of those people for many years that just wasn't getting enough fruits and vegetables. So what I would love to hear from the panel is, what does a typical day for you of eating look like? I mean, what is your typical breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks? How does that look for you guys in a typical day?
Wrong question to ask me. As a restaurant chef, you think I'm around all this fantastic food all the time. I don't. My problem is I don't stop and eat enough until like after my shift, and it's eating late, bad news. But my typical day is actually grazing through my kitchen, which can be a good thing and can be a really bad thing. The great thing is I got all these raw vegetables. I'm always sitting there eating broccoli, and this time of the year we're always eating apples and citrus fruit. The bad thing is, we admittedly have a lot of rich food that we serve at Millennium, and be eating some of that also. And also for me, again, bad news, bread. To me, bread is like the gateway drug to everything else, to fats and oils and all sorts of other stuff. And in this neck of the woods, being that we have such great bakers, that's my guilty pleasure, to say the least.
I try to be healthy as much as possible. I try to eat a lot of leafy greens. I love kale in my smoothie in the morning. I love to saute up some chard with garlic at lunch or dinner. I like whole grains. I think after you eat healthy food for a while, that's what your body wants. That's what you start to crave. We do have to go out a lot because of Veg News. Fortunately, we live in a great vegan food city, Millennium being my favorite. But I do try to eat as healthfully at home as possible, just so it all balances out, and try to eat organic and just try to cook as much as I can. Just getting back to preparing our own foods, getting quality ingredients, and really getting in leafy greens.
Well, I already ran my diet with you. I started out with a big bowl of fruit and some steel-cut oats for oatmeal. And lunches and dinners, I have a big salad and a big bowl of vegetable soup and a big plate of steamed greens, and we'll throw in a bean burrito or something like that. And more fruits for desserts. I'm a big mango and grape and cantaloupe fan. While we're on the subject of food, those of you who are vegetarian but still consuming dairy products, just a quick note. Cow's milk is designed by nature to turn a 65-pound calf into a 400-pound cow in a year. Cow's milk is baby calf growth fluid. That's what the stuff is. And everything in that liquid, the protein, the fat, the hormones, the sodium, the growth factors, are all there to blow you up into a great big cow, along with giving you breast cancer and uterine cancer and all sorts of other problems with it. You don't need it for the calcium, you don't need it for the protein. And if you're trying to lose weight and you're eating cheese and yogurt and ice cream, you're kidding yourself. So if you want to really make a step towards health, look in the mirror, see if you have whiskers and a tail and big ears, and if you're not a baby calf, then don't drink that stuff.
I want to answer the question in terms of how I avoid GMOs rather than what I eat, because everyone has their own different diet, and every group, whether it's raw food or Western A Price or vegan, they all hate GMOs. So that's the key here, is how to avoid GMOs. I traveled about 200 days this year already, and so I have to know how to navigate in restaurants. Now, if you eat fast food in a restaurant, it's processed, and almost all processed foods contains derivatives of soy or corn. It also can contain beet sugar from sugar beets, or cottonseed oil or canola oil. Those are the major GM crops. So you go to restaurants that don't use processed foods, then you have to find the invisible GMOs. The invisible GMOs is primarily the cooking oil, the soybean, cotton, corn, canola, and the salad dressing. The visible ones would be corn, based products like polenta or corn chips and things like that. So whenever I go to a restaurant, I call in advance and say, what oil do you cook with? And if they can cook mine in olive oil, that's fine, or no oil. And there's some other tips that are on our website, and I'll also be speaking from the main stage at 5 o'clock if you want more.
So I kind of have an idea of what I want to eat each day, and then throughout the day I take from that various items from the list of foods I try to get each day. So I usually start off with a mango smoothie with carrot juice in it for vitamin A. I have some oatmeal with nuts and dried fruit later on in the morning. I work at home, so I have the luxury of eating at any time throughout the day. I usually have a veggie burger or tofurkey sandwich for lunch. I usually do a workout early in the afternoon, and then after that have some sort of legume, either refried beans or hummus with some chips and tomato sauce on it. Then later I have my wife is she's a chef, so she typically makes dinner, and I do the dishes. So whatever she happens to be making is what I eat that night. But usually a big salad and some vegetables, and I like to have pasta where she eats rice and quinoa usually, though I do like eat a bit of that too.